The sun dipped low over the savannah, painting the sky in streaks of gold and crimson. Shadows stretched long across the village of Kasongo, a place surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills. The villagers were settling in for the night, smoke curling from small fires, and the distant calls of hyenas echoed under the violet twilight. Yet, something unusual stirred in the heart of the Foresta. Whisper carried by the wind, soft but insistent, as if the trees themselves were speaking secrets of old. In the small village hut at the edge of Kazango, a boy named Taye sat cross-legged near the fire, his dark eyes reflecting the flickering flames. Taye was not like other children, where others laughed at the tales of spirits and ancestors. Taye listened. His grandmother, Mama Nia, often warned him, "The spirits are watching. Taye, they choose who they reveal themselves to." He'd always felt it. A shiver in the night, a shadow that seemed to follow him among the trees, but never before had he seen a spirit appear. That evening, as the orange glow of firelight danced on the clay walls, a strange sound rose from the forest. It was not the roar of a lion or the rustle of wind through the acacia. It was a soft, melodic hum, like singing, carried from another world. Taye's heart pounded. He arose from the floor, eyes wide, straining to see through the darkness beyond the hut. "Who's there?" he whispered, his voice trembling. The wind answered with a chill that brushed against his neck, carrying the scent of wet earth and jasmine. The forest seemed alive, breathing, watching. Taye stepped outside, the warm night air brushing his skin, and the hum grew louder, wrapping around him like a gentle hand. Far above, the first stars appeared, blinking softly against the deep blue sky. The moon, a thin silver crescent, cast faint light on the paths of the forest. Taye noticed a shimmer between two ancient baobab trees, a faint, golden light, pulsating as though it had a heartbeat. Curiosity overcame fear. He inched closer, barefoot, the tall grasses whispering against his legs. Every nerve in his body told him to turn back, yet his feet moved as if guided by an invisible force. When he reached the light, it dissolved into the shape of a small figure, delicate yet powerful. Its skin glowed faintly like morning dew on leaves, and its eyes held the depth of centuries. The air vibrated around it, carrying the scent of rain and smoke, the sound of distant drums. Taye gasped. He had heard the stories of the Nyamawanga, the hidden spirits who guarded the forests, unseen by ordinary eyes. Could this be one of them? "You have come," a soft voice whispered, echoing in the clearing. Taye blinked. The voice seemed to come from everywhere at once, from the ground beneath him, the trees, and the wind above. "I have watched you, child of... Your heart is brave, yet you fear what you do not understand." Taye's knees trembled, but he found his voice. Who are you?" he stammered. "I am a spirit of this land," it replied, its form flickering like firelight. "I dwell where the river bends and the mountains touch the clouds. I am neither seen nor known by men yet. I see all. You, Taye, have been chosen to walk a path few dare to follow." Fear and awe collided inside him. Chosen? For what? The spirit's eyes glimmered. "To uncover truths hidden since the time of your ancestors. But every gift has a price, and every path is shadowed by danger. You must decide if your heart is strong enough to face what is coming." Taye felt a thrill rush through him, a mixture of excitement and dread. He had always longed for adventure, to see the lands beyond Kazango, to hear the stories whispered by the elders and hidden in the winds. Yet this was different. This was not a game. This was a calling from a world he had only glimpsed in dreams. Suddenly, the light pulsed brighter, and the clearing shimmered with golden hues. The sound of drums echoed in the distance, faint but steady, as if marking the rhythm of the earth itself. The spirit reached out a hand, delicate and warm. "Come closer, Taye! The night is deep, and the forest has many secrets. Will you step forward?" Taye hesitated. The village lay just beyond the trees, safe and familiar, but the pull of the unknown was stronger than fear. His hand trembled as he reached toward the spirit. The moment their fingers almost touched, a gust of wind swept through the clearing, scattering leaves and carrying the voice of his grandmother in the distance. Taye! Come inside. The night is dangerous. He froze, torn between safety and destiny. The spirit's eyes shone like amber flames, patient and knowing. Do not fear the path you cannot yet see. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to step forward despite it. Taye's heart pounded in his chest. He knew, deep down, that his life would never be the same after this night. The forest hummed around him, alive with spirits, secrets, and the whispers of ancestors. Somewhere beyond the shadows, something waited. Something hidden, powerful, and eternal. The boy took a deep breath. And with that, he stepped forward into the unknown, leaving the safety of his village behind. The adventure, the mystery, and the hidden African spirit had begun to weave their story around him. The night was alive with whispers. Taye? His bare feet pressed into the cool earth as he followed the golden glow deeper into the forest. The air was thick with the scent of wet leaves and the faint sweetness of wildflowers. Every rustle of branches, every distant howl, made his heart pound harder. Yet he could not turn back. The spirit had promised him a journey few had ever seen, and already the forest seemed alive with secrets meant only for him. The trees towered above him like ancient guardians. Their twisted roots formed natural archways, and in the gaps between the trunks, tiny lights flickered like stars had fallen into the forest. Taye felt as if he had stepped into another world, one where time moved differently, and the ordinary laws of nature did not apply. The spirit glided ahead of him, almost floating, its golden light illuminating paths that seemed invisible before. "Why have you chosen me?" Taye asked, his voice barely more than a whisper. The spirit paused and turned, its eyes shimmering with an inner fire. "Because you are willing to see what others fear. The spirits of this land test many, yet only those with courage and heart are called." As they walked, the wind carried distant sound strums, laughter, and cries that were not quite human. Taye shivered. His mind remembered the elders' warnings. The forest was alive with spirits, some kind, some vengeful, yet the calling in his chest, a mixture of fear and excitement, urged him forward. Suddenly, a soft rustling came from the undergrowth. Taye froze, and a small creature leaped into view. It was no ordinary animal. It had golden eyes that gleamed like lanterns, and its body shimmered with the colors of the forest. It circled him once, then vanished into the shadows. The spirit smiled. "They are watching," it said softly. "The guardians of the forest move around you, testing your courage. Do not be afraid. The forest knows your heart." Taye swallowed hard. Each step seemed heavier than the last. His legs ached. His feet scraped against hidden thorns. Yet the pull of the unknown kept him moving. The golden spirit led him to a river, its waters glowing faintly under the moonlight. Mist rose from the surface, curling like smoke, carrying the scent of river lilies. The sound of flowing water mixed with distant drums, creating a rhythm that matched his racing heartbeat. "Here," the spirit said, hovering above the river. "Look into the water, Taye, and see what has been hidden from men for generations." Taye bent closer. At first, he saw only his own reflection wide-eyed, trembling, but then the water shimmered, revealing images that made him gasp. He saw visions of his ancestors, tall and proud, walking through the savannah, hunting, celebrating, and calling upon spirits. He saw battles, ceremonies, and moments of deep sorrow and joy. The images shifted rapidly, showing a story of courage, betrayal, and hope. "Why am I seeing this?" Taye asked, his voice trembling. "Because your path is tied to theirs," the spirit replied. "The hidden spirit that guides you has chosen you to continue the legacy. But the path is not easy. Darkness and doubt will come, and the forest will test every part of your spirit." A sudden gust of wind sent leaves swirling around him. The forest seemed to close in, shadows stretching like fingers. From the darkness, faint whispers emerged voices speaking in languages Taye did not understand, yet their tone carried warning and urgency. Go back! Go back! They seemed to say, but the spirit's light shone brighter, warming Taye's heart. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, feeling the cold river water lick his toes. The images in the water shifted again, showing a figure, a young boy, much like himself, standing bravely before a great danger, holding a glowing amulet in his hand. The boy's eyes were determined, yet a shadow loomed behind him, threatening to engulf everything. Taye realized with a shock that it was not a vision of another boy, but of himself, what he might become if he had the courage to continue. Suddenly, the golden spirit raised its hand, and the river parted slightly, revealing a narrow path across the water. The journey begins here, it said. Each step you take will reveal more than you can imagine. Trust your heart, Taye, and do not let fear control you. Taye nodded, swallowing his fear. The forest seemed to hum around him, the rhythm of the drums growing louder, resonating through his chest. Each step across the glowing path felt like walking on air, yet every movement demanded focus, courage, and faith in the unseen. As he reached the other side, the mist thickened, and the golden light dimmed slightly. In the shadows, shapes moved, figures with glowing eyes, watching, waiting, testing him. Taye's heart raced. He knew this was only the beginning. The forest was alive. Every creature, every leaf, every sound, a part of the test. The hidden African spirit had led him this far, but the trials ahead would challenge him in ways he could not yet imagine. The spirit spoke once more, its voice like the rustling of leaves and the beating of distant drums. Remember, Taye, courage is not the absence of fear, it is stepping forward despite it. Keep your heart strong, for soon you will face the first true test of your destiny. Taye's chest swelled with both fear and excitement. He was no longer just a boy from Kis. He was chosen, part of a story that stretched across centuries, tied to the spirits of the land. The night around him pulsed with mystery, magic, and the promise of adventure. And so, with the forest alive around him and the hidden spirit guiding the way, Taye took another step into the unknown, unaware of the dangers, wonders, and revelations awaiting him in the heart of the African wilderness. The morning forest seemed different now. Even the birdsong carried a tension, a warning carried on the wind. Taye's steps were more confident than before, but the weight of the hidden spirit's revelation pressed on his shoulders. He understood now that the journey ahead was not merely about discovery, it was about facing the dangers and shadows that had long haunted the land. The golden spirit floated beside him, glowing softly in the morning light. The test is not yet over, Taye. Darkness waits for those who venture too far, and not all spirits in this forest are kind. You must remain steadfast. Taye nodded, his heart pounding. He had felt fear before, but now it was different. He understood that the forest as trials were not only about courage, but also about the heart as strength. He followed the spirit into a dense grove where the trees were so thick that sunlight barely touched the forest floor. The air smelled of damp earth and mushrooms, and every step made the dry leaves crackle like whispers of ghosts. Suddenly, a low growl rumbled from the shadows. Taye froze. A massive figure emerged, a dark, shadowy creature with eyes glowing red like coals. Its body shifted with the mist, blending with the darkness, yet its presence was unmistakable. Taye recognized it immediately from the visions in the mirror pool. This was the shadow he had seen, the threat that loomed over him and his people. The creature's voice echoed through the grove, deep and chilling. Why do you trespass, child of men? This forest is mine. The hidden spirit has been mine to guard, and you will not take it. Taye's chest tightened, but he forced himself to stand tall. I am not afraid of you, he said, his voice shaken but determined. I am here because I was chosen. The hidden spirit belongs to the forest, to all who respect it. The creature's laughter rolled like thunder. You are brave, but bravery alone will not save you. Your heart will falter, and your courage will crumble. Are you ready to see what lies in the shadow of your fear? Before Taye could answer, the shadow lunged. He dodged instinctively, rolling over roots and fallen branches. The dry leaves whipping around him. Every movement demanded agility and focus. Yet the real danger was not physical, it was the fear gnawing at his mind, whispering that he was too small, too weak, too young to succeed. The golden spirit hovered above, glowing brighter. Focus! Taye! Fear is only powerful if you let it control you. Remember the courage that brought you this far? Taye closed his eyes briefly. Taking a deep breath, he imagined the faces of his ancestors, their strength, their wisdom, their unbroken will. He felt their presence like fire in his chest, giving him warmth and confidence. When he opened his eyes, the shadow creature had stopped, circling him like a predator testing its prey. You have spirit, the shadow hissed. Perhaps there is hope for you yet. Then, with a sudden motion, it created visions of Taye failing, of his village in ruin, of the hidden spirit lost forever. He saw himself trapped in darkness, alone, powerless. Panic surged in his chest, and he stumbled, nearly falling into a chasm that had appeared beneath the trees. No! Taye shouted, gripping a tree trunk for balance. I will not let fear rule me. The golden spirit's voice cut through the illusions. Remember your heart, Taye. Courage is the key. Taye clenched his fists and focused on the warmth of the spirit's glow, the rhythm of his heartbeat, the ancient pulse of the forest around him. Slowly, the illusions began to fade, and the shadow creature hissed in frustration, its form flickering like smoke in the wind. You are stronger than I imagined, it growled. But strength alone is not enough. The path you walk is one of heart, of choice, of spirit. Do you understand this, child of men? I think I do, Taye replied, his voice firmer. It is not just courage that matters. It is believing in what is right, even when it is hard. It is facing fear and choosing to keep moving forward. The shadow paused, its red eyes dimming slightly. Then it began to shrink, swirling into a mist that was absorbed by the ground. The grove fell silent, the tension lifting like the end of a storm. The forest seemed to exhale, and the golden spirit's glow spread across the clearing, warm and reassuring. You have passed the first true test, Taye, the spirit said. But remember, this is only the beginning. Darkness will always return, and your heart will be tested again and again. The greater the challenge, the greater the growth. Taye sank to his knees, his body trembling from exhaustion and relief. The weight of what he had faced pressed on him. But beneath it was a sense of triumph, of understanding, of connection to the spirits, the forest, and his ancestors. He realized that courage was not simply a moment of bravery, was a choice, a commitment to keep moving forward despite fear, doubt, and uncertainty. As he rose, he noticed a narrow path leading deeper into the mountains. The golden spirit floated toward it. This is the next stage of your journey. There, the hidden spirit will reveal more of its secrets, and you will face trials that will challenge not only your courage, but your understanding of the world and yourself. Taye took a deep breath, the cool mountain air filling his lungs. He felt the first stirrings of purpose in his chest, a determination to continue, to learn, to face whatever awaited him. The shadow had tested him, but he had survived, and in surviving, he had grown. With the forests alive around him, the drums of the distant village echoing faintly in the wind, and the golden spirit guiding the way, Taye stepped onto the mountain path. Each step forward was heavier than the last, yet every step carried the promise of discovery, magic, and the unfolding of a destiny that would change not only his life but the fate of his people. The mountain air was thin and sharp, carrying the scent of wet stone and pine. Taye's legs ached from the climb, yet he pressed on, the golden spirit hovering nearby, its glow a beacon against the darkening sky. The forest had given way to jagged rocks and towering cliffs, and the path narrowed with every step. The distant sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the peaks in fiery orange and deep violet, while shadows stretched like long fingers across the valley below. Taye paused, catching his breath. Below him, the river he had crossed earlier wound like a silver ribbon, reflecting the last light of day. Above him, the sky darkened, and clouds rolled in, swirling ominously. He knew this was where the ultimate trial awaited the final test that would determine if he was truly ready to awaken the hidden spirit and claim his destiny. The golden spirit hovered closer. "This is the sacred plateau," it said softly. "Here, the hidden spirit reveals itself fully. But beware, Taye. The trials ahead are not of the body alone. They are of the heart, the mind, and the soul. You must confront the darkness within yourself to prevail." Taye's heart pounded. The lessons of the forest, the river trial, the shadow in the grove, the mirror pool had prepared him. But this was unlike anything he had faced before. The plateau seemed alive, the rocks humming faintly under his feet, the wind-carrying voices that whispered of ancient battles, sacrifices, and forgotten truths. As he stepped onto the plateau, the golden spirit's light flared, illuminating a figure in the center. The hidden African spirit stood there, magnificent and radiant, with eyes like molten gold and wings shimmering with every color of the dawn. Its presence filled the plateau with warmth and power, yet a shadow lingered behind it, a darkness so vast and oppressive that it seemed to swallow the light. "You have come far, Taye," the spirit said, its voice echoing across the mountains. "But to awaken the full power within this forest and within yourself, you must face the shadow. It is not only outside you, it is inside you. Fear, doubt, anger, and sorrow are part of it. You must confront them to succeed." Taye swallowed hard, feeling the weight of every fear he had ever known pressing down on him. The shadow behind the spirit shifted, growing larger, twisting into forms from his worst nightmares, his village in flames, his friends in danger, himself failing again and again. Panic rose in his chest, threatening to overwhelm him. I am ready," Taye whispered, though his voice trembled. "I will face it! I will not run!" The shadow roared, a sound that shook the plateau and echoed down into the valleys. Taye felt the darkness clawing at his mind, trying to make him doubt himself. Memories of fear and failure surged forward, and he stumbled, nearly falling to the rocky ground. The golden spirit hovered closer, its light warm and reassuring. "Focus on your heart, Taye," it said. "Remember your courage, your love, your ancestors, and the bond you share with the spirits. The darkness cannot touch what is pure within you." Taye closed his eyes and breathed deeply. He thought of his grandmother, Mama Nia, who had always guided him with wisdom and care. He remembered the river trial, the mirror pool, and the shadow in the bravery challenge had taught him something about himself. He felt the pulse of the forest beneath his feet, the rhythm of the drums that echoed in his chest, and the golden light of the spirit surrounding him. Opening his eyes, Taye stepped forward. "I am not afraid," he declared. "I am who I am, and I will face the darkness." The shadows surged toward him, but instead of retreating in fear, Taye raised his hands. Light poured from his heart, not blinding, but warm and steady, intertwining with the golden glow of the spirit. The shadow shrieked, twisting and contorting as if resisting the light. Taye felt the fears inside him, the doubt, the sorrow, the anger rising to challenge him, but he held firm. With each breath, each heartbeat, he embraced the truth of himself. Courage was not the absence of fear, but the strength to move forward despite it. The hidden spirit spread its wings fully, golden light cascading over the plateau. The shadow began to dissolve, scattering into mist that the wind carried away. Taye felt a surge of power and clarity, a deep connection to the forest, the ancestors, and the hidden spirit. The darkness that had once seemed so vast now felt small, powerless against the light of a determined heart. When the mist cleared, the plateau was calm. The hidden spirit hovered before him, radiant and serene. "You have succeeded, Taye," it said. "You have faced the darkness, embraced your heart, and proven yourself worthy. The forest, the spirits, and your people are now bound to your courage. You carry the legacy of your ancestors and the wisdom of the spirits within you." Taye sank to his knees, overwhelmed by exhaustion, relief, and The trials had pushed him to his limits, but he had emerged stronger, wiser, and more connected to the unseen world than he had ever imagined. The wind carried the scent of earth and wildflowers, the distant drums of his village echoing faintly across the mountains. "You are ready!" Taye, the hidden spirit, said. "Your journey does not end here, but the greatest challenge, the one within your heart, has been conquered. You are now a guardian, a bridge between your people and the spirits, and a bearer of courage, wisdom, and hope." Taye looked around the plateau, feeling the warmth of the spirit's glow and the pulse of the forest. He understood now that his life had changed forever. He had faced fear, darkness, and doubt and had emerged victorious. The lessons, the trials, and the spirits would guide him always, shaping the young boy into a true hero of his people. As night fell, stars blinking above like scattered diamonds, Taye stood, ready to begin the next stage of his journey with courage, heart, and the hidden African spirit by his side. The night was calm, yet alive with whispers of the forest. Taye stood at the edge of the sacred plateau, the hidden African spirit hovering beside him, its golden glow reflecting softly on his wide, awestruck eyes. The mountain winds carried the scent of wildflowers and wet earth, and the stars above blinked like eyes of the ancestors watching over him. After the trials, after the shadow, after facing his fears, Taye felt a strange mixture of exhaustion, triumph, and serenity. "You've done well, Taye," the hidden spirit said, its voice echoing like a gentle drumbeat. "You have faced the darkness within and outside yourself, embraced courage, and trusted your heart. Now you carry the power of the forest, the wisdom of your ancestors, and the light that guides your people." Taye's chest heaved. I feel different," he admitted. "Stronger. But also, I feel like I understand things I couldn't before." The spirit smiled. "That is the gift of the journey. You have learned that true strength comes from balance between courage and humility, fear and hope, heart and mind. You have seen that darkness cannot exist where the heart shines with truth. You have grown, Taye, and the forest itself acknowledges your spirit." Taye looked down at the plateau. The wind whispered through the rocks and the golden moss, carrying a sense of peace he had never felt before. He thought of Kizongo, the village that had been his home, and his grandmother, Mama Nia, whose stories had sparked the curiosity and courage that led him here. He realized that the journey had not been just about the hidden spirit or the trials. It had been about him understanding himself, the connection between people, spirits, and the land. "Will I ever see you again?" Taye asked softly, his voice filled with longing. The hidden spirit's eyes glimmered with warmth. "I am always with you, Taye. Not only as a guardian of the forest, but as a part of your heart. Whenever you need guidance, courage, or wisdom, I will be there. You are no longer a boy who fears the unknown. You are a bridge between your world and the unseen, a keeper of the lessons of the past, present, and future." Taye felt tears prick at his eyes. The weight of the journey, the fear, the shadow, and the triumph it all surged through him. "I promise I will honor what you've taught me," he whispered. "I will protect the forests, our people, and the stories of our ancestors." The golden spirit spread its wings fully, and a warm light enveloped Taye, wrapping him in comfort, courage, and hope. The shadow that had haunted him, the fears that had plagued his mind, were gone. In their place was clarity, strength, and purpose. "You are ready to return to your village," the spirit said. "But remember this, Taye. The path of courage does not end with one challenge. Life will test you in many ways, and the greatest lessons are often hidden in the simplest acts: kindness, honesty, and the bravery to choose what is right even when it is difficult. Never forget the power that lives within your heart." Taye nodded, absorbing every word. He felt the pull of home, the warmth of the village fires he had left behind, and the voices of the ancestors whispering encouragement on the wind. As he descended the mountain, the golden glow of the spirit faded softly, but its presence lingered in his heart. The forest, once full of shadows and mystery, now felt like an old friend, its secrets a part of him forever. When he finally reached Kisango, the village was quiet. Under the silver light of the moon, smoke curled gently from the huts, and the distant calls of night creatures echoed softly. Mama Nia was waiting at the edge of the village, her face lined with age, but radiant with love and concern. "Taye!" she exclaimed, rushing to him. "I was worried. The night! The forest!" Taye smiled, his heart full. "I have seen the hidden spirit, Grandma. I have faced the shadow and the trials. I understand now more than I ever could have imagined. The forest, the spirits, and our ancestors, they are with me, and I will protect what is important, just as they have protected us for generations." Mama Nia hugged him tightly, tears shining in her eyes. "You have grown, my child," she said softly. "Not just in strength, but in heart. You have learned the truth that many never see, that courage is born from understanding, love, and the willingness to face what others fear." The villagers began to emerge from their huts, drawn by the faint golden glow that seemed to linger around Taye. They saw the change in him, not in size, but in the presence of someone who had walked with spirits, faced darkness, and returned with wisdom. Whispers of awe and wonder spread through that night. Under the firelight, Taye told the story of the hidden spirit, the shadow, and the trials. The children listened wide-eyed, and the elders nodded knowingly. The story became a new tale of courage and hope, a legend that would be passed down for generations. And in the heart of Taye, the lessons of the forest and the hidden spirit remained vivid. Fear can be faced, darkness can be overcome, and courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to act with heart and truth, even when the path is uncertain. From that day forward, Taye walked among his people with quiet confidence, kindness, and wisdom beyond his years. He became a guardian of stories, a bridge between the seen and unseen, and a reminder that the greatest power lies within the heart. The hidden African spirit had changed a young boy's fate, and in doing so, had illuminated the path for all who would come after, teaching that bravery, love, and understanding are the true treasures of the world.